So good morning, everyone, and welcome to Global Pitch 2021. I'm Annalise Hoops, the founder and executive director of the Changemaker Project. Thank you all for being here and coming out today to celebrate our young changemakers. Today, we have 10 teams of youth from around the world coming together to pitch their social justice projects for a chance to win funding. I'll start by explaining how the event works for those of you who are new to Global Pitch. For each team's project, we will play their 3-minute pitch video, which showcases their project, and then the teams will have 2 minutes to answer questions from the judges. Once all the teams have pitched and the judges leave for their deliberations, you'll have a chance to actually ask the teams questions yourself during our live Q&A session. And you'll also have a chance to vote for your favorite team during our People's Choice Award. The judges will then choose which projects they would like to fund, and they'll come back and announce the winners. So it's up to each judge how many projects they want to fund. They are generously funding these projects with their own money. So they'll choose how many projects they want to fund and which projects. And this year's theme is racial justice. So the judges will be choosing one project focused on this issue for our Racial Justice Award and an extra $150 in funding. So you can take a look at our roster of teams on our website. So I'll just put the link in the chat. And here's the link. So you can go ahead and take a look at our panelists who's presenting today. So I'll go ahead and share my screen and I'll just show you. Yeah. So if you go to our website, thechangemakerproject.org, and you click on Global Pitch, you can see all the teams that are here today presenting. So you can read a little description of their projects and get to know their projects a little bit before we begin. And below them, you'll see all of our fantastic judges and our sponsors. Thank you to our sponsors. So I'll stop my screen share there, and I want to just introduce our judges. So let's see, I want to start with, let's see here. Okay, I want to start by introducing Kate Campbell-King, founder and chief investment officer at North Berkeley Wealth Management. Kate has been on our judging panel for 4 years now, since the Changemaker Project started in 2018. She's also been an incredible mentor to me over the last few years. Thank you so much for being here, Kate.
Very happy to be here.
And joining Kate today is Daniel Smith, an advisor at North Berkeley Wealth Management. Welcome and thank you for joining us today, Daniel.
Happy to be here.
Awesome. Next, I'd like to introduce Stephanie Klempner, co-founder of the Pollination Project. The Pollination Project has also been supporting our changemakers over the last 4 years at every Global Pitch event so far. We are so grateful for their support. Thank you so much for being here, Stephanie.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, next I'd like to introduce Chijoke Ameniki, co-founder of ThreadStack and a dear friend of mine. Thank you so much for joining us today, Chijoke.
Happy to be here.
And another dear friend of mine who I've known since I was the age of our participants is Doug Bishop, and he's joining us for the 2nd year in a row. He's a research scientist at IBM and also a mentor for the Changemaker Project. Thank you so much for your support of our changemakers, Doug.
Thanks, I'm excited to hear the pitches.
All right, and we are still waiting on one more judge. Has Kurt arrived yet? Kurt Collins? Okay, well, hopefully Kurt will join us soon. All right, so let's get started. I'm gonna just share my slides again. Let's share some slides to get us going. All right, so. All right, so once again, thank you to our judging panel. Really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for your generous support of our changemakers. Thank you to our sponsors, the Pollination Project, North Berkeley Wealth Management, and First Republic Bank. We really appreciate your support of this event and of our program. And our agenda for today, like I said, we're gonna have 10 teams pitching. We're gonna have the judges leave and go make their decisions of who they wanna fund. And then they'll come back and announce them, and we'll announce the People's Choice Award winners. So you'll get to vote for your favorite team. All right, so let's get started. Without further ado, I'm going to play the video for our very first team, BHSAR. All right, here it goes.
there is a well-documented achievement gap at Berkeley High School.
According to data from the California Department of Education, there is a clear systemic achievement gap between Black and Latinx students and white students, and this has not improved over the years.
Even though they say we are doing this and doing that, if you look at the stats, these kids are still at the bottom of the totem pole. They remain at the bottom of the opportunity or the achievement gap.
This issue is daunting when you first look at it, but what we do know is that over the past decade, more and more money and resources have been invested into closing the achievement gap, but with little success. And why is that?
I think our bigger issue is really the outreach part. There are resources in Berkeley, at least for Berkeley High students, but either it's not effectively distributed or talked about.
Without a central way for all of these resources to communicate, the students, often the ones who need them the most, are severely disconnected from these programs.
Hello, I'm Kayoko Hoffman-Hattori.
Hi, my name is Mimiya Usivas.
Hi, my name is Arlo Wheeler.
Hi, I'm Amelia Wiley-Moretta.
And we are BHSAR. We are creating an organization that will help collect and organize resources for students of color into one easily accessible student-oriented hub. Having a centralized place for resources at Berkeley High will also encourage support programs to communicate, cooperate, and share information. Our hub will specifically serve students of color who are systematically neglected in the education system at BHS.
I think it's a wonderful thing when people feel they have a place they can go and feel somebody is going to be there to help them.
Through many tailored surveys, we have worked with students to refine our idea. We want to make sure that this solution is led by students for students. We hope to eventually open up a physical walk-in hub located on campus. But for the next 6 months, we plan to grow support and our social media presence. Our Instagram is an open space for students to find help with any resources they need, share our informational infographics, and promote our hub.
Currently, we've created a leadership board. This is a crucial part of our resource hub because with this board in place, we can ensure that decisions being made about the hub are being made by the people who the hub is made for.
We have a lot of people who are already educated, already involved, and they're trying to make decisions for people who are not. I highly recommend that there is a way to find students that are already disenfranchised.
Leone Buckley and Lyndon Ward are the leaders of the Black Student Union at Berkeley High. Desiree Solis is a leader of the Multicultural Student Association. Together they will act as liaison to the BIPOC student community.
Janai Williams, Dwayne Clay III, Miguel Calderon Sanchez, and Maria Gonzalez are top students in Bridge, one of the programs we are working with in our project. They will serve as valuable leaders for our hub.
In order to properly kickstart our program to its fullest potential, we are asking for $200 in funding, of which $150 will be spent on hosting events and panels for our students, while the remaining $50 will be spent on advertising and promotional materials for our hub. Thank you very much, and we look forward to you funding our project.
All right, wonderful. So, questions from the judges. I'll start my timer. Let's give them a hand, first of all. Beautiful job. All right, questions from the judges.
I have a question. I'm really glad to see the leaders of the Black Student Union, the Latinx organization that I'm forgetting the name of, and the Bridge students as the board that is going to be effectively showing leadership here. And I'm just curious, and you see them as a bridge to outreach to the students that you're trying to provide resources for. I'm wondering if in your survey, did you reach out actually to those students that you hope to impact, and what kind of input did they have?
Yeah, I can answer that. So yes, we did, through our surveys, our intention was to reach out to students that we knew would be benefited from this resource hub. And so we reached out to classmates, and through our social media, we had people answer. And our surveys basically, it gave us a lot of insight into like what people thought was missing. A lot of people said like student-led resources, student-led like mental health, stuff like that is missing. And so that's kind of what our hub, it's not like its own resource, but it will like be student-led. And then beyond that, just like having that's kind of where our idea came from, was like a lot of students were saying that they didn't really know where to go for resources, and they didn't feel like they knew who to go to when they needed questions about resources. So yeah, that was definitely an important part of like coming up with our solution.
Thank you.
I'll ask a question. I know that sustainability of a project will definitely come from passion. And so I'm curious, as a team, was there any personal connection that you had to this group? You showed statistics, you showed the differences that were happening, but what inspired you to put this together? Was there a personal connection?
Okay, so that's time, and I forgot to give a reminder to the judges just to ask your questions very succinctly so the students have some time to answer, but you guys can have just an extra second to answer that question if you can. So.
I can answer. For me personally, especially through the pandemic, I have struggled like a lot more than I usually have academically. And I also noticed that there isn't a lot of support that I noticed mentally in our school. I know that those resources are provided, but I personally don't know where I could go for those resources and where I could go to receive help personally. So.
Okay, thank you so much, Kayoko. We're going to move on to our next team, which is Healthy Minds, Healthy Lives.
Hi, my name is Tyler Jenkins and I'm a sophomore.
My name is Diamond Williams and I am a junior.
And I am Jasmine Moreto Cortez, a sophomore. We are all students at Berkeley High School and we identify as Black Indigenous people of color. We are concerned about racial injustices in mental health within our community. There's a lot of discrimination and racism towards our community, which forces us to create thick skin, making it harder for our community to express themselves emotionally. Because of this, we created Healthy Minds, Healthy Lives.
Since the pandemic started, we realized that lots of people tend to forget where to find resources and or simply don't know where to get help. Healthy Minds, Healthy Lives was our idea of helping our community become more aware of the resources that are available to them, as well as taking action when it comes to their self-care.
We plan on hosting informational Zoom meetings regarding the effects of racism, racial stereotypes, and discrimination on mental health. We did lots of research and found that the Black and Brown community tends to not know what mental health means or what it really is. As a matter of fact, data shows that even when people of color know what's going on with their mental health, many tend to stay quiet.
People do this because they're unsure about what resources are available to them, they're afraid of what society may think of them, or simply lack of awareness. We want our community to feel safe and be aware. We created a website which allows people to email one of the counselors at our high school privately and individually, so they can ask any questions or feel free to contact them if they need help. In our website, we also include mental health crisis lines and other important phone numbers that are available to the public and designed for people of color of all ages.
We realize discrimination and racism play a huge role when it comes to our community's mental health. So for our website, we wanted to create a section specifically designed for people to share out their personal experiences or encounters with racism or discrimination, anonymously for obvious reasons. One of the most important things we value is safety, and we want to make sure everyone feels safe enough posting something on our website. We did something similar for our Zoom meetings as well. Before joining, people can change their names to, for example, their favorite food instead of writing their actual names.
We also realized many people might not join because they feel embarrassed. Research shows that Black Indigenous people of color tend to stay quiet when they think or know that they have a mental illness. This is because most of the time, mental health is believed to not be a huge issue. Instead, it's treated as something with little to no importance.
For our funding, we asked for $150, which would cover the cost of a premium plan for our website during the next 12 months. This would allow us to create an easy-to-access link so people don't struggle to find our website. Mental health resources should be easy to access, and that is exactly what we want. Mental health is a massive issue and it should be taken seriously. Thanks to the opportunity we were given, we are extremely proud to present Healthy Minds, Healthy Lives.
All right, excellent. Questions from the judge. Let's give them a hand. Beautiful. And questions from the judges?
I have a quick question. As far as mental health and communities of color, it's usually not seen to be cool to approach these topics. How do you plan on inviting people of color to your website, or making it, once you get there, there's the help, but getting people there seems to be a challenge I've come across.
Yeah, we actually spoke to counselors that are actually helping us with this process, and we've gotten their personal feedback. So sometimes, we use social media to present that and promote that. And we also speak to people. Also, we feel like our anonymous part of our project would also encourage people to join. That way they feel more safe and comfortable sharing out about their personal experiences.
And I think what also help is our friends of color that also said that they would support us.
Wonderful. Any other questions?
Have you thought about year 2 for funding, since you're asking for just 1 year of funding for your website, and how you might do that?
No, we haven't thought about our year 2 funding, just because, excuse me, just because like so far that the website and like getting people to interact is our main goal, and we want to make sure that we see those results. And I think once we get a lot of people's input and their feedback, we will be able to generate any ideas or any kind of next moves or actions we want to take in terms of funding, or any kind of events we want to start regarding our Healthy Minds, Healthy Lives. So yeah.
Wonderful. With 10 seconds to spare, let's give them a hand. Awesome. And I just want to make a quick announcement that our final judge has arrived, Kurt Collins. Welcome, Kurt. It turns out Kurt was here. He was just on the webinar, so he was on the attendee side. So yeah, I'd love to introduce Kurt Collins. He's the co-founder of the Hidden Genius Project and partner at Rising Tide Ventures, an early stage venture fund investing in underrepresented entrepreneurs. And Kurt was a mentor to me when I was first starting the Changemaker Project. So I owe a lot of gratitude to you, Kurt. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. All right, let's go on to our next team. The Climate Sleuths.
I'm Addie. I'm Zaya. I'm Amaya. And we are the Climate Sleuths, making educational videos to inspire the next generation of climate activists.
Humans are destroying our planet and time is running out to save it, yet there is an overwhelming lack of climate activism. Through empathy interviews, we found that the lack of action stems from a lack of education. So let's educate before it's too late.
We decided to focus on kids, as their hearts and minds are open. Their influence on their communities is enormous, and they are inheriting this planet. Climate change is a mystery for kids, so what better way to learn than to solve it together?
We are creating an educational video series that will train 3rd through 5th graders to investigate, take action, and find joy in making our world a better place.
Our resources will be age-appropriate, easy for teachers to use, and in tight accordance with science education standards.
Although other video series have addressed climate change, we are targeting a younger audience and building empathy and problem-solving skills. We are a dedicated team of 17 talented student animators, scriptwriters, and video editors. It is a series made by students for students.
To date, we have created and shared a prototype with science education experts and 6 classes at local elementary schools. Following the Stanford design thinking process, we received 2 rounds of feedback and modified our vision accordingly.
By December, we will have produced 6 videos. There will be upwards of 15 in the full series. Each video includes a mystery, relevant vocabulary, feasible solutions, and an interactive activity, all available on our YouTube channel and website.
In each episode, the Climate Sleuths work with science experts to investigate how an individual has been affected. Doing so, they investigate the cause of the problem and learn more about its effects.
See an example of our collaboration here as the Climate Sleuths, Sam and Pono, investigate wildfires.
Sam, Pono, thanks so much for coming, Climate Sleuths. I don't know what's happening. One second I'm sleeping in my tree, and the next there's flames all around me. forest? Isn't rain supposed to put out fires? And what even is a wildfire?
This calls for an investigation.
Ooh, what are the big questions?
What are wildfires and how do they start? How is climate change involved? And what can we do to help?
We need some advice.
Let's call a science expert.
We would like to receive $266 for our project. We need $216 to finance our website, which is essential to make our series accessible to all. And we need $50 to purchase animating software.
We are the Climate Sleuths, making educational videos to inspire the next generation of climate activists.
Help us educate before it's too late.
All right, beautiful job, ladies. Let's give them a hand. Questions from the judges.
I have a quick question. First, that was really great and impressive. My question is, are you going to host these videos on your website, or what about like YouTube or something like that?
Yeah, we plan on doing both. YouTube will make it accessible to the public. And then on our website, as we mentioned, there are interactive activities for each video. So there will be a corresponding teacher guide so they can teach the interactive activity in their classroom. And then we also plan on linking each video to the next generation science standards, which are used across the continent. And through teachers can look to see if their lessons correspond to those standards and then watch our corresponding video.
Got it. Thank you.
I got a question as well. Yeah, it was a really creative solution. I was curious how you plan to get them into the classroom, if you have resources or connections, or how you plan to promote them.
We are currently working very closely with district managers and teachers. Multiple teachers have expressed interest in our series. So we know for a fact that at different elementary schools across our district, there are teachers excited to bring this into the classroom already.
Great, thanks.
Any other questions?
I was just going to add something onto that last question, just re-emphasizing that because they're aligned with the standards being taught in the classrooms already, teachers are more likely to use the videos because they can align them with their pre-existing lessons.
Absolutely. Well, beautiful job. Let's give them a hand. You guys can all mute. It's not just me clapping. All right, so we'll go ahead and check out our next video. Next up, we have GSJA from Japan, where it is after 2 a.m. and they have graciously stayed awake for this event. So we really appreciate that. We'll play their video.
Hi, I'm Michaela, and I'm straight.
Hi, I'm Lucas, and I'm a cisgender bisexual.
Hello, my name is Noah, and I am personally not sure about my own gender.
We make up the GSJA, the Genders and Sexualities Junior Alliance, and are located in Tokyo, Japan.
We want to help people of the LGBTQ+ community here in Tokyo to feel more confident in expressing their sexuality and gender identities.
In order to help out, we'll sell branded products designed by us to help people in our local community. These products will include t-shirts, like ours, stickers, and more novelty items like custom toothbrushes.
By selling our products at a marked up price, we will be able to donate 80% of our profits to a charity called Stonewall Japan. The other 20% will be used to purchase new products and save up for funding events for team members of the LGBTQ+ community here in Tokyo.
At these events, we hope to create a safe space for community members to be able to discuss their thoughts, feelings, and experiences, bringing us all closer together. In order to get the word out, we will advertise products and events on our dedicated Instagram page. We aim to be able to host at least one outdoor event every month before selling product.
We started the GSJA because of real-life experiences. As a member of the LGBTQ+ community, I have faced my own challenges in terms of becoming comfortable and confident in my identity.
As a dedicated ally, I've spent time and effort to join school clubs and to educate myself. I've surrounded myself with a community of people who help one another and embrace each other's identities, and I wish for everyone to have the same opportunities I've had.
Throughout this project, even in a small scale, I would like to make sure that people that are having concerns will have a place that they can express themselves, and otherwise help them find a place where they will feel comfortable.
We aren't just a fundraiser, we are an initiative. We have seen friends struggle and we won't stand for it anymore.
Stand with us, and we'll stand with everyone.
All right, let's unmute and give them a hand. Beautiful job. Question for the GSKA.
So I have a question. I'm curious with your distribution of what you are selling. Will it be international? Will it just be in Japan? And also, who is distributing everything that you are selling? Are you doing that yourselves or is that outsourced?
Well, for our initial launch, we would start by selling the products that we've mentioned, such as T-shirts and stickers to our school, which is going to be our first our first goal, because our school is very small, less than 100 people. And then in the future, in the long term, if we were to expand, we are creating a website where people can purchase our products.
I have a question also. You said you wanted to promote this in the community that you're in, by which I assume you seem to be an international school, but I assume you mean Japanese community. And what sort of community is that? And what kinds of relationships do you have in the community now?
Well, so our goal is to make people more comfortable with expressing who they are, and that community would be the community we're trying to create are people from the LGBTQ community, and also people who want to be allies in helping those people be more comfortable.
I have a question. How did you choose the nonprofit you're going to be donating some of your proceeds to?
Let's see. We chose Stonewall Japan because it was one of the few LGBTQ organizations in Japan, and it seemed like a good place to start.
All right, perfect timing. Great job, everybody. Great job, Lucas. Thank you for waking up in the middle of the night to participate in this event. We really appreciate that. All right, next up, we have Planting Hopes from India. Let's play their video.
This is Nisha Pathak of grade 12 in Nijamodi School. Last year, due to national lockdown, I found myself sitting in front of the screen for many hours at a time. I felt the need to engage in new activities. I decided to try planting vegetables in free space near my house. I started with simple vegetables like onion, tomatoes, potato, bottle gourd and coriander, as I need not to buy seeds for these household staples. I donated the produce that I grew in my community, giving it to the people who were not able to provide a balanced diet to their children and family. Neighbors contributed and we started growing more produce in large patches. Soon I realized that I was addressing the issue of nutrition, especially amongst children in my community. It doesn't matter how small your actions are, even if you don't realize that at the time you are making a difference. It makes me really happy to know that I'm helping people who cannot procure a balanced diet. I love offering fresh produce to other people. I thought of helping underprivileged women to support their family, as many had lost their jobs or had a cut in their salaries. Explain them the importance of microgreens, which are nutritional supplements, and showing them how to use them and their health benefits. In order to make the workshop efficient and eco-friendly for them, we decided to grow these microgreens in milk bags. Using these milk bags was an easy way to promote recycling and reuse of plastic. The program was executed with minimal resources.
ये मेथी दाना हमने डाला था इसमें, जैसे आपने बताया था निशा, 3-4 दिन में ही ये इतना बड़ा हो गया है.
I started hosting workshops through virtual meetings, showing people how to grow plants at home with ease and with low cost. Recently, due to sudden rise in coronavirus cases across the nation, oxygen has become crucial for everyone. This compelled me to take action to share my love for plants and distributing some of the highest oxygen-giving plants. The mission of Planting Hopes is to provide nutritious food to families in my community and to start and maintain a vegetable garden at home, even at apartment, and donate the produce to the people who are in need, as well as to inspire and assist others to do the same. Planting Hopes will keep providing nutrition and mental peace to the affected to keep their spirits high during this pandemic.
All right, beautiful job planting hope. Let's give her a hand. Awesome. All right, questions from the judges. Tanisha.
I'm curious about what land you used when you first started planting. Was that in your own yard or patio or somewhere else?
The land that I used was in my school area. So I live nearby in my school. So there is a land that I used. It's in my school area.
Got it.
Do you have any other partners that you work with?
No, I'm individually working on this. I have like people to guide me, like mentors, but I'm individually working on this.
I'm curious about the scale of the project and how you distribute the food in terms of how many plants or how many people you're working with and how you get it out to people.
Sorry, could you please repeat?
I'm curious about how many people you are able to who you are working with, and also how you get the food out to people in your community. How do you distribute?
Okay, so basically there is a slum near my house, and when there was lockdown, so people were suffering from like hunger and unemployment, so they did not have food to eat. So when I distributed to people to them, and when I saw their happiness and their smile on the faces that I was bringing, so I thought to promote my initiative that I was doing and thought to share more produce with other people.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, we can move on to our next team. Let's give her a hand. Okay, excellent. So now we are moving on to the PB&J project. Let's play their video.
Industrial animal agriculture, otherwise known as factory farming, is a leading source of greenhouse gas emissions and other forms of environmental pollution, and an obvious and heinous form of animal cruelty. This way of producing and consuming food also comes with great cost to our health. Annually, 10 billion land animals are killed for food in the US. 99.9% of these animal products come from factory farms. With factory farming, the issues of animal cruelty, human illness, social injustice, and environmental degradation intersect. In this intersection, a plant-based diet works to combat all issues while being individually attainable.
As 3 college students invested in spreading awareness about factory farming and advocating for plant-based eating, we have created the PB&J Project. The Plant-Based Injustice Project is more than a website. It's an educational toolkit for middle schoolers and their families to learn about factory farming and plant-based eating, with content focused on cultural competency and experiential learning.
Factory farms are intentionally hidden from society so that people can go on consuming their products without any moral qualms. It was clear in our interviews how little young people knew about this topic.
Like driving too much.
Car emissions like gas.
Our goal with this project is to begin to shine a light on the true horrors of animal agriculture, starting with young audiences. According to American food journalist Mark Bittman, eating is a language and our food habits are learned in early childhood. It is a necessity to educate children as early as 4 years old on their eating habits and the impact on our planet.
Unlike other websites that discuss plant-based eating, the PB&J Project speaks directly to students while bringing them and their families on a unique educational journey. We have also designed the site to be utilized in classroom settings if desired.
Our site is conveniently divided into 3 sections: the problem, the solution, and the commitment. As a way of providing a clear roadmap for exploration, each section provides in-depth and comprehensive material with a variety of mediums ranging from readings to videos to audio recordings to activities. The site integrates original artwork, curricula, commissioned cooking demos by renowned chefs such as Tracy Desjardins and Elizabeth Faulkner, and interactive activities that help children explore this pressing issue.
Our goal is to make plant-based eating fun and accessible to young people at a time when their eating habits are becoming formed. Leaders within the vegan food community, such as Miyoko Shiner of Miyoko's Creamery, are impressed with our work and have agreed to work with us. We are already partnered with 4 Bay Area schools, have shown the site to numerous middle schoolers, and are planning to continue outreach.
We are requesting $907. Our website requires an upgraded plan to accommodate more educational content. We need the expertise from a professional coder to develop more advanced interactive activities and web design. Finally, we need funding for marketing, mainly in the form of paid ads and promotional material. Our goal is to make the PB&J project as inclusive as possible, and funding will facilitate greater outreach and accessibility.
All right, great job, ladies. Let's unmute and give them a hand. Hey, beautiful job. Questions from the judges?
Does your website have resources that help start the conversation between the younger generation and their parents? I know that some people are very interested in getting this way, but when mommy and dad make the meals, it can be harder.
Absolutely. So we have a section on our website for talking to your parents about how to eat more plant-based. It's full with resources, different tracking apps, and recipe ideas. And it kind of provides a roadmap for the types of questions your parents might ask and how to address them. And then the idea is also that kids and their families will be exploring our website together. So parents will be learning about the same problems and hopefully feel inspired as well. And then there's recipes and cooking demos for the kids and their families to explore together.
We also have a family feature section where we interview plant-based families and ask them questions like, how did you begin this journey? Do you have any tips or tricks? So hopefully that can be a place where families read that together to get a better sense of how to begin.
I'm curious, you're college age students, and this is a pretty big project that you've taken on, and I love the name as an aside. I'm curious if your paths or intentions are to keep working with this post-college, if this is just kind of a pet project that you're doing on the side. So just tell me a little bit about that.
We can start off by answering that. Yeah, I think the great thing about a website is that it can be really sustainable. And of course, there are things that we want to start introducing, and the funding will play a large role in that, like a newsletter and integrating more cooking demos, more interactive activities. But we really do believe this is something that can have some longevity to it. So I'm not totally sure what the future holds, but we're definitely committed to sticking to this for a long time.
And I would just add that for all 3 of us, this is a really salient issue, definitely not something that we've just started to think about. Me and another teammate, Maya, have been fellows for the Factory Farming Awareness Coalition, where we've been exploring this issue. So yeah, definitely an important topic for all of us.
All right, wonderful. Let's give them a hand. Thank you, ladies. All right, I'll go ahead and share my screen for our next team. Vaccines for teens.
Nearly 1/4 of parents of children ages 12 through 15 say they will definitely not vaccinate their child against COVID-19, according to a recent study by the Kaiser Family Foundation. My name is Dana Suter. We are currently in a pandemic. Everyone has been affected, but some more than others. Access to the COVID-19 vaccine and accurate vaccine information is not equitable. People are dying because of this disparity. Through my extensive research and empathy interviews, I learned that one of the major barriers to vaccination is a lack of access to simple, accurate information. I also discovered that there was no information on COVID-19 designed specifically for teens. All the information I found was either too simple or far too complicated. I decided to create an action project to address a lack of vaccine information targeted towards teens. By providing teens with information, they can learn about vaccines and preventable diseases, make informed choices about their own health, educate their family, friends, and loved ones, help spread accurate information, and fight misinformation, choose to vaccinate their future children, and teens have the power to protect current and future generations from preventable diseases. This project seeks to educate and empower them. I created a 6-panel, colorful infographic. The information is thorough, understandable, and accurate. The source of the information is the CDC. The first panel is bold and eye-catching. The other panels include information about vaccines in general, information about the COVID-19 vaccine, how the different COVID-19 vaccine brands work, and how to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Lastly, the back includes talking points for teens that gives teens ideas on how to get the conversation started in their community. So far, 300 infographics have been printed in English and Spanish. I worked with my school district and local copy factory to print at a discounted rate while supporting a local business. I plan to continue reaching out to other secondary schools and will work with opportunity centers, community centers, libraries, and reach out to summer lunch programs. Those receiving discounted lunches from the schools overlap with low socioeconomic and minority populations, which are receiving the COVID-19 vaccine at lower rates. This information is vital to them and their families. Creating a website and media campaign is vital for this project due to the nature of the age group that is being targeted. Additionally, online resources have the ability to be updated as needed and can reach a national and even international audience. I'm asking for your financial support of $550 for additional printed brochures and to develop the website vaccinesforteens.org. With your support, we can work with teens to vaccinate this generation and future generations against this pandemic and other preventable diseases. This is information for a teen, by a teen. Thank you for your support.
All right, let's give her a hand. Congratulations, Dana. Questions from the judges.
I have a question. How are you distributing the pamphlets to teenagers?
Currently, I have distributed them throughout my school and school district. In my school's campus, it's placed in classrooms and the main office and other places such as our wellness center and student activities office.
Have you considered how you might be able to measure success in terms of children vaccinated?
That's a great question. Usually, I think that in this case, the best way to measure that would definitely be the response that both the website and the infographics are receiving, because the goal is that each infographic helps at least one family and helps that teenager go out into their community and spread awareness and get their entire family vaccinated.
You said that you had already printed some. What kind of feedback have you had from folks that you've given them to?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think so far the feedback has been greatly positive, and one of the most common responses I see when people receive it is they say, oh, I know exactly who would benefit from this information, and they have that person that they know they can pass that information on to, which is exactly the goal of this project.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Wonderful. Any other questions? All right, let's give her a hand. Thank you, Dana.
Thank you.
All right, and we can go on to our next team here. Warm Post from Norway.
Hello, we're Victoria from Denmark, Mason from Morocco.
and Sophie from Russia. We are students of United World College Red Cross Nordic, and our project aims at helping victims of human trafficking by providing them with warm clothes.
Privilege is the opportunity to not see what you have and not worry too much about what you don't have. A privilege is not only you having luxurious goods such as cars. Privilege is the opportunity to have warm clothes on your back as well. So our team oriented in the later example. The marginalized group in need that we want to help are the victims of human trafficking. Everyone is born with the right to be free, but not everyone has that opportunity. Human trafficking is an issue that's hidden in our societies, nations, communities, cities. It's most likely even hidden in your own home. Did you know that more than 14 million people are bound by modern slavery?
Human trafficking is a cycle that many people don't know about. It starts with vulnerability. Vulnerability can have been influenced by violence and abuse, poor education, and unemployment. If a person is exposed to an abuse of power, exploitation starts. This can be in form of sex trafficking or labor trafficking, etc. Even if a person manages to escape human trafficking, they are still in need of casual things, such as sanitary products, a shelter, and warm clothes. They'll literally have to start a whole new life in our society. If a victim doesn't get the right help they need, they'll most likely get re-victimized. Re-victimization is a common thing, as they may have been rescued but haven't been offered the right help they need. Victims need to get restored on basic needs, which is what our project will help them with.
Firstly, through a teacher of the school, we got in touch with the manager of A21 Ukraine and had the opportunity to ask about their needs. The manager emphasized the need of warm clothes. Thus, our project is focusing on the supply of this product that is so accessible in Norway. Then, we researched the prices and accessibility of the postal services in Norway. The estimated price of sending 20 kilograms of clothes to Ukraine is $96. Next, we've contacted places where people gather, such as local schools or supermarkets in 4 towns around the college. We're going to allocate the boxes there to collect clothes that are no longer in use. In addition, we will put infographics about human trafficking on the boxes to educate the local communities about this issue.
Through collaboration with A21 Ukraine, we aim to give those who had been exploited warmth and strength to deal with traumatizing experience and start again. By supporting Warm Both project, you support victims of human trafficking. Send warmth to those who need it. Thank you.
All right, beautiful job, ladies. Let's give them a hand. Questions from the judges.
How did you find out how did you explore this topic and choose it? What kind of, how were you exposed to the issue there in Norway or just through education?
Yeah, great question. Thank you. First of all, our school had been supporting A21 some years ago. Second of all, we had a joint campaign between A21 and Amnesty International. As we are a part of Amnesty International, we care a lot about human rights topics. Thus, once we got an opportunity to contact the organization, we decided that, after all information we know, it's something that is really needed. So we decided to support them. And also important to note that as we started, we thought, sorry for shaking voice, we wanted to support them with sanitary products as we started thinking of hygiene in times of COVID. But then after having an empathy interview with them, we realized that what they actually need is warm clothes. So we a bit shifted our project, but we've been always worried about this issue. Yeah.
More questions?
Well, how many people do you hope to impact? How many sweaters or whatever do you hope to distribute?
Yeah, we had a video call with the manager of A21 Ukraine, and approximately they rescue 30 people per month in Ukraine. So you can see that it's actually a big issue. So yeah, that will be, 30 people per month. That would be our goal.
Excellent. All right, let's give them another hand. Let's unmute and give them a hand. Good job, ladies. Okay, and we can move on to our next. We've got 2 teams left. It's flying by. All right, let's hear from Educate Our Youth.
Hi everyone, my name is Natalie Kita. I'm 17 years old and I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Hi, my name is Sanjana Shrikant. I am 14 years old and I'm from Sunnyvale, California.
And we are Educate Our Youth. One of the many problems facing our nation today is educational inequality and the lack of resources available for our youth, especially those who live in predominantly low-income neighborhoods. This is especially true in cities where there are great wealth disparities and a high percentage of people who are living below the poverty line. Living in Philadelphia, I've been able to see firsthand the effects that the lack of teaching can have on a community, especially in this case, economics, and how people really don't know how to manage their money properly. To help bridge this educational gap and to teach developing students across the country, we created Educate Our Youth.
Educate Our Youth aims to provide a free course in financial literacy, educating the youth of America on the critical information they need to sustain their financial future. Our course would be self-paced, with a time frame of about 1 to 2 weeks per lesson, coupled with asynchronous activities and optional review tests. In addition to the course, we plan to have live workshops and group review sessions that students can attend. When a student clicks on our website, they will be able to register for an account and have full access to all course-related resources. There is also a community section where students from all over can meet new people and discuss course material. As of now, we plan to keep our project virtual, and when it is safe to do so, we plan to host community events to help engage people of all ages to value education. With Educate Our Youth, we truly hope to make a difference in our community, both locally and globally.
Additionally, we have researched, consolidated information, and created a detailed curriculum that we wish to implement on our platform.
The basic Educate Our Youth curriculum consists of 5 topics with 3 subtopics each. In our curriculum, we have included informative slides on finance, as well as interactive problem solving and logic activities students can go through by themselves with answer keys to check their knowledge. In order to maximize efficiency and establish true learning, we made each slide explain financial information in a prioritized way that students could understand easily. We also have discussion questions to encourage students to interact with the material. The basic curriculum plan is something we aspire to finalize in the future with the knowledge and help of financial advisors. To educate the youth of America and make our project possible, we are going to need the support of our wonderful investors. In order to fund our project for up to a year, we will need roughly $299.
So join us.
Join us in our efforts to change the lives of the youth across the nation.
Help us educate our youth.
All right, great job, ladies. Let's give them a hand. And what questions do we have from our judges?
I'd like to know a little bit about how you wrote the curriculum. If you wrote it all yourself, what type of research you did. If so, I know that you mentioned you're going to solicit some support from other experts, but if you can tell me a little bit about the development of it.
Yeah, so for now, of course, since we're doing this project by ourselves, we researched and collected trustworthy resources. We made sure that the websites that we got our information from were trustworthy and reliable, and we built our basic curriculum off of that. Of course, that's not the finalized version. We are planning to contact professionals, and I know my partner Natalie has gotten into contact with an economics professor, and I've also made connections with some people with experience in finance who we plan to contact and help finalize our curriculum before we actually put it online for students to use.
I'd like to know how you plan to get students to use this.
Yeah, how would you distribute it? How will you encourage people to get there?
So for right now, we really want to utilize social media, especially like Instagram, because we know that a lot of people, especially like teens, are on the social platform, and we wanted to make a Instagram account and promote our website just to kind of engage people into learning about their financial future. Sorry. We don't want it to be something that feels like an obligation, like they feel like they have no choice but to go, but to be encouraged and wanting to learn about financial literacy and to be empowered to do so.
I know a challenging topic around this is how do you make this fun?
Yeah, so regarding that, again, like going back to our curriculum, we're planning on first teaching the basics and building like the foundational concepts. And we also don't want it to just be a read-through curriculum. We plan to have activities to do it. And we also plan to host live workshops. We plan to call in people with that experience to, I guess, talk about their financial journey and just make it fun for students because this is kind of what they're going to be facing in the future. Finance is a huge part of our lives. So we want to make sure they have a fun and interactive experience with that through our website.
All right, thank you so much, ladies. Let's unmute and give them a hand. Congratulations. Okay. Now, last but not least, we have Project KITABI. Let's hear from them.
This is KITABI, Fighting for Education. In Morocco, socioeconomic status is the main creator of the education gap amongst the population. So we decided to do something about it. After discussions with locals, we learned of how the absence of finances was so commonplace amongst families that not having read a book became a socially accepted fact. Statistics show that the average Moroccan child reads a minute a day, followed by the average adult reading 2 minutes a day. People's education is being devalued and pushed to the side. The reasons there is a reading crisis in Morocco is 1, the relatively high cost of book, and 2, the absence or weak state of public libraries across the country. After consultation with stakeholders, we devised a 3-phase technology-driven intervention.
Phase number 1, creating a platform. Our website was developed as an efficient solution to the problem we have to tackle. We kept in mind our users and tailored it as much as we could to them, while at the same time keeping it as simple and easy to use as possible. After our users create an account and upload pictures of their books to their virtual library, they may browse through the books that are offered for exchange by other users on the platform. They can either sort these books that are available for exchange by location, if they want to see the closest ones to where they physically are, or they can sort them out by genre if they are particularly interested in a certain genre of books. Users can also sort books by language, since Morocco is a multilingual country with many languages including Arabic, French, English, as well as Amazigh. The second phase is advertising and spreading awareness. Since the website is fully dependent on a certain number of people being active and a certain number of users being active, and the most important variable for the exchanges to run smoothly, efficiently, and in a timely manner is also the number of users, the initial advertisement campaign is crucial to the launch in order to make sure we reach the people that we're trying to help and to make sure the exchange process runs without hassle. This will be done through a combination of online ad campaigns on social media, as well as on-the-ground stands and events all over the country in order to advertise our platform, in addition to participating in caravans that go to rural Morocco. The last phase, phase number 3, monitoring the cycle of feedback, evaluation, and updates. Once the platform is running, a continuous cycle of feedback, reception, evaluation, and updates will take place on the website in order to fix any inconveniences or issues that escaped our attention in the testing phase, as well as asking suggestions from our users that we can implement.
We intend to measure the impact by closely monitoring the exchanges that happen on our website, as well as analyzing user behavior in order to find common patterns that will help us better understand the needs of users and how we can fulfill them. Moroccan communities are not only the beneficiaries of Project KITABI, but they are also the driving force behind it. We aim to create not only a system for efficient allocation of books within a community, but also push for a culture of reading and create connections that will hopefully flourish into becoming tight-knit communities on their own.
All right, that was the end of the video. Let's give them a hand. Wonderful. All right, so questions from the judges.
I wanted to ask, Two questions. The first is, how will you actually have people get the books, and how will you ensure that they bring them back? And then, or are they not necessarily going to be brought back? And then also, it sounds like it requires people have a computer or a smartphone to be able to participate. And how likely is that you'll reach the people you want to?
Thank you so much. Two amazing questions. Okay, so first one, we're not actually involved in the exchange process. Our users coordinate between themselves, and the website only helps efficiently get people to meet each other who want to exchange books with each other. This is a procedure that already happens in like Facebook groups and social media. It's just that it's so inefficient that we decided to make a website to make it 1,000 times more efficient. The second question about people, how likely they are to have access to this technology. That internet penetration rate actually in Morocco is very high. It's, I think, 94% of the population has access to internet, be it through smartphone or laptop or desktop. So it's not actually going to be a problem of whether people are going to be able to use the website or not.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Have you thought about the possibility that someone would get a book and then kind of not return it, or is there any incentive to, bring it back or kind of find it?
Sorry. So basically how the website works, as we've talked about in the video, is people sign up on the website and then they offer their books for exchange. And when two people like each other's books, for example, I make an offer to your book and you like the book I want to offer you, and you agree, we meet up in a spot between each other since we live in the same city, and then exchange the books with no intention of returning them because I've already read the book that I gave you. And then, yeah.
Thank you.
You mentioned having events, quote unquote, all over the country. How will you do that?
Yes, so I actually have an organization back home that's dedicated to education of Moroccan youth, underprivileged ones especially. So we're going to go to all sorts of events that are somewhat related to our idea or education in general. And then we're going to offer one book for every person that decides to download our app or sign up in our website, and then show them how to use our website. And then when they go and read that book and finish it, the book can be of their choosing. When they finish that book, they're going to exchange it on our website for another book, and then their journey starts from there.
Is this primarily for adults or children as well?
Last question.
Yeah, that's fine. Since this already happens online, I just mentioned that it's so inefficient. This is mostly going to be for university students or even late high school students, since they tend to be the ones that read the most back home and the ones that most are comfortable with this technology. But this is not going to be age restricted to anyone. It's just that this is the demographic most likely to be active in the platform.
All right, excellent. Let's give them a hand. Nice job, KITABI. All right, so wonderful pitches. That was incredible to watch. It's just so inspiring. I'm not envious of the judges right now. They have a very difficult job of going off and deliberating and deciding which projects they want to fund. So judges, any questions before you leave? Ready to go? All right, they're going to be going into their own private conference room and we will be seeing them shortly. All right, goodbye, judges. All right, and while the judges are making their decisions, we have some fun things planned. First off, we're going to do some live Q&A from the audience. So if you have a question for the participants that you heard today, you get a chance to ask it. So what I want you to do is just look down at your screen at the very bottom of the Zoom interface. There's a little Q&A icon. You can click that and type in a question. And you can type in any question you like for our panelists. Just make sure it's clear which team you're referring to. And then we can have a chance to answer some of those questions later on. So while you're doing that, I want to talk to you a little bit about the Changemaker project and just how it works. So let's see, I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen. The first thing I want to demonstrate to you is I want to demonstrate our website. We have a special map of all of our Changemakers, and it's a really neat kind of interactive feature. If you've seen our website, you'll know what I mean. And I did this last year too. We've got an updated map. So I'll just show you here. Here we go. Here's my screen. So if you go to the changemakerproject.org, I guess I'll paste that in the chat here. Okay, here we go. you can go ahead and play around with this as well. It's a fun interactive map. If you scroll down here, you can click on the map, and what we have the students do when they register for our program is we have them say what social justice issue they care most about. So you can actually see, if you click on, in Norway, for instance, students care about climate change. That student cares about climate change. Each pin represents a student. So over here in Japan, we have homelessness. Let's see, in New York, social inequity. We have a lot of students in the San Francisco Bay Area, LGBTQ rights. So you can kind of play around with the map, and it's pretty fun just to see what students care about in different places. Here we have, I think this is Italy, hunger. Yeah, so it's a really neat tool to explore and get a sense of where our change makers come from and what they care about. And then what I want to do next is I have some slides just about our program. And when I'm done with the slides, we're going to open up the poll for the People's Choice Awards. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. I will go ahead and share my screen and just share with you a little bit more about the Changemaker Project, what we do, and what our students have been up to for the last year and how they got to where they are now. So first off, I started the Changemaker Project because I really care about young people and their ability to make change in the world. When I was young, I remember feeling just kind of overwhelmed with all of the different problems in the world, whether it was people, animals, the environment, so many problems that we face. And I was always asking myself, what can I do with my one life to make the most impact? And when I got to college, I discovered this concept of education for social change. And I realized if I could go out and equip and mobilize and empower the next generation to be ready and able to solve the problems of our time, I realized I could multiply my impact. And so that was the idea for the Changemaker Project that started long ago, and it's finally come to fruition. So we've been doing it about 3.5 years now. And our goal is really to give youth the tools, skills, mentorship, and funding they need to make a meaningful impact on the world. So many of you in the audience might relate to this, of really caring about a social justice issue, caring about wanting to change the world, but not necessarily knowing where to begin in terms of actually making an impact. And so what I wanted to do is create a pathway for students to really get the education they need, the mentorship they need, and the funding they need to really design creative solutions and implement them. So our curriculum has 3 main components. It's all online, so it can be done from anywhere in the world. It has leadership development, understanding the problems, and really building solutions with design thinking. So our social justice themes cover 5 main areas. So we have discrimination, social inequity, health and safety, animal welfare, and environmental protection. And within each of these categories, what we do is we expose students to a variety of issues or a variety of resources which allow them to see the issue from different perspectives so that they can understand the issue from different angles and see the different sides of it. Another thing that we do is we always highlight a featured change maker, someone who's really making a difference in the given area. And we want students to have role models. We want them to know that they don't have to be adults to make change in the world, that they can be a young person who really makes an impact. And then the final step is design thinking. So we teach Stanford's design thinking process, which is really rooted in empathy. So as many of the students here today have mentioned, the students go out into their community and they do empathy interviews. So they talk to people who are affected by the problem and they talk to all of the stakeholders who are involved so that they don't just design a solution that they think is really clever, but doesn't actually meet the needs of those that they're trying to help. So this student says, the greatest skill that I gained from participating in the Changemaker Project was empathy, because when I did my empathy interview, I had to put myself in their shoes. And several of the teams today that you've heard from actually started with one idea. They thought they were going to do one kind of a project, but when they did their empathy interview, they realized actually there's another project that could be more useful, that could meet the needs better. So that's the idea behind design thinking, really understanding the needs of those that you're helping. And then we have students build projects. So they get to spend a lot of time just digging in, building their projects. The whole time that they are building their project, they get the support of a mentor who has expertise in the area that they're working on, ideally. We have volunteer mentors from all over the world who support our students. And any of you in the audience who want to become a mentor, that's another way that you can get involved in our work. The Changemaker Project allowed me to finally have a voice. I love this quote because I want every student to walk away feeling that their voice matters and that they can stand up and take action on issues that they care about. So as I mentioned earlier, we have students from all over the world. We've reached, in the last 3.5 years, we've reached over 1,500 students in more than 25 countries. And the beautiful thing about this to me is that all of our students get to connect with one another and learn from one another. We have so many different cultures represented, and we can have, students are able to see what a social justice issue is like in a different place, in a different country, a different context, really understand how other people relate to the issues that they face in their own communities. So I have a few updates about our program, which I'll share with you now. First off, so as I mentioned earlier, the theme for this year was racial justice. And we kicked it off last summer with a mini grants initiative. So we gave out 10 mini grants of $500 or less to youth-led racial justice projects. So these were just small grants to give students what they needed to kind of get started on a project. So this is a team in San Diego who created this beautiful Black Lives Matter mural in their community. And our theme for the next year, drum roll, is diet change for climate change. So we're really excited about this theme, and we're going to kick it off again this summer with mini grants initiative once again. So we'll give out grants to youth ages 13 to 24 who are doing initiatives that promote and support plant-based diets. So stay tuned for that coming this summer. Another initiative that we're really excited about is the Global Ambassador Program. So we have now 15 leaders from around the world who are bringing the Changemaker Project to their region or to their community. This is a way to kind of leverage the amazing community that we have of people from around the world. We have students who have done the program before and say, I want to bring this back to my community. I want to get more schools in my city involved, more schools in my country involved. We have teachers doing this, and we have just members of the community who really want to seed positive change in their locations. So we have, we're really excited about that Global Ambassador Program. And if you or anyone in the audience is interested in becoming a Global Ambassador, check out our website for details on that. We'd love to have you. So another initiative that I'm really excited about is the Changemaker Leadership Pathway. So we want our students to come back year after year and continue building their leadership skills and their confidence as changemakers. So what we've done is we've designed a leadership pathway such that students can come back year after year. So all the students here today, I hope to see you back again next year. Building your skills as leaders and earning badges along the way. It's a little bit modeled after kind of the Girl Scout program of you can come back each year, earn a new badge for a different leadership skill. And so we hope that that will continue to, really help students to build a lifelong set of skills that will allow them to be effective change makers. And finally, we also have a Changemaker course for adults. So we've been getting requests for a Changemaker course that adults can participate in for a while now. And so we've designed a leadership course for any adult who really just wants to make positive change in their community, whether it's starting a nonprofit, a for-profit, just some kind of community initiative. You can join our course and gain some helpful skills. So we've interviewed nonprofit founders and industry experts. Two of our judges on the panel today, Stephanie and Kurt, are both featured in the course because they've started nonprofits, and just sharing their wisdom with you and giving you all the tools that you need to start an initiative on your own. We have entrepreneurship training, coaching, and mentorship. So that will launch this summer, and stay tuned for updates on our website. All right, and so you might be asking yourself, how can I get involved in the Changemaker Project? I'd love to give back. I'd love to be part of this. And you can be part of this. So you can join our Changemaker Community Task Force. The task force is made up of our amazing community members, students, teachers, parents, mentors, and just community members who believe in what we're doing. The task force is an opportunity to come together and just help the Changemaker Project grow, help us develop new programs, expand to new regions, develop new curriculum, help us with our fundraising, our strategy, our school outreach. And so if you're interested in joining the community task force, I'm going to put a link in the chat for a little survey. It's kind of like a pledge form that we do at our events where you can sign up and say how you want to get more involved and how you'd like to give back. We also, for the Changemaker task force, we have quarterly meetings, so it's not a huge commitment, just 4 times a year. So in terms of other ways that you can contribute, I mentioned earlier, you can mentor a team. So you can sign up on our website to mentor a team. You can connect us to a teacher, any teacher in your network, whether it's a former teacher that you had or just a friend of yours, or maybe your children have connections to teachers. You can host a fundraising party. This is a really fun way to support our work. We can come and do, the actual presentation of what the Changemaker Project is. We can bring in students who are part of the Changemaker Project to talk about their experiences, and all you have to do is bring your friends together. So it's a really fun way to help us to grow our organization and get more people involved in our work. And finally, you can become a monthly sponsor. So our monthly sponsorship program is a way for anyone of any income level to help us to move our project forward and to empower change makers around the world each and every year. So you can join for as little as $10 a month. And honestly, this is our largest category of donors are in the $10 a month category. It's the price of 2 lattes. And if you're able to contribute, it's a great way to just support us, month after month with your contributions and allow us to do this work. So I want to just say one more time, thank you so much to our sponsors. We really appreciate the support that they've given us, the Pollination Project, North Berkeley Wealth Management, First Republic Bank. You guys have all been fantastic sources of support. We really appreciate your contributions. All right, so I'm going to stop my share there. And I know I talked for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and put that survey link in the chat so that everybody can take that survey. And since you've heard about different ways you can get involved, just go ahead and click that link, and you can tell us how you would like to get involved with the Changemaker Project further. All right, so let's see how we're doing on time. 11:18. We are right on time, 2 minutes early. So I'll give you a moment to fill out that survey. And then next we are going to launch our People's Choice Award poll. The moment you've all been waiting for. You get to actually vote for your favorite team. So I'm going to get that poll started. And whenever you're ready, you can vote. There we go. So you should see something pop up on your screen that says People's Choice Award poll. All you have to do is select your favorite team, and we will take a look at the results. And while everybody's voting, I'm going to take a look at the questions that have come in for our students. So we have about 15 minutes left, and we can answer lots of questions. That'll give us plenty of time. So let's take a look at the questions. So we have so many good questions here. All right, I'm going to start with a question from Kieran Byrne. Great friend of mine, mentor to the Changemaker Project, volunteer. He's been at every pitch event so far, and also a donor. Thank you so much, Kieran. He has a question for all the participants. What did you learn in this experience that you did not learn in school? Great question. What are some skills that you will bring with you into the future? Who wants to tackle that question? Kyoko, go for it.
I would say the main one would be my leadership skills. In school, we are often not the mentors, but we are listening to teachers and other people. Mentor. I'm talking.
Kyoko, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
You want to stop your video?
We're listening to other people mentor us, but in the Changemaker program, we get to Is this better?
I think that's a little better. Do you want to type your answer in the chat, actually, since your internet's a little bit spotty? Sorry about that, Kyoko. Who else wants to go ahead and answer that question? So what did you learn in this program that you didn't learn in school? And what skills are you taking into the future? Warm Post, go ahead.
Okay, so basically here we're taught a lot of theoretical knowledge about those issues, and through this project we were able to have more hands-on experience and try to do something in real life. We found out that although we have strong beliefs, they're very ideological, and it was hard to put something in practice, and we received a lot of valuable advice from like our mentors of how to create our, like to put our ideas in real world and actually make them happen.
Wonderful. Thank you. Who else wants to jump in?
Well, I think that this experience really just emphasized having empathy and using that as a skill or method to really come up with meaningful solutions. And that is something that I believe all of the participants in my group, at least, were.
Uh-oh, we lost you, Zaya.
Very we are taught to just come up with a solution to a problem without even really talking to stakeholders. So I think that that was such a meaningful skill to learn.
Awesome. Thanks, Zaya. All right, so I'm going to take a look at the questions again. Thank you for that awesome question, Kieran. And Jeannie Clinton has a question to PB&J. You mentioned that youth start forming food preferences and patterns of eating at the age of 4. Yet your project targets an older group of youth. Why are you targeting older youth? Can you answer that question, ladies?
Sorry, is my audio working now? Okay, perfect. Sounds good. Thank you so much for this wonderful question. And this is an excellent point that we discussed extensively amongst ourselves, along with our mentors at the Factory Farming Awareness Coalition and our Changemaker Project mentor. And so our decision to initially target older youth allows us to delve deeper into topics that are more sensitive and more complex related to factory farming, as well as its intersectionality with social justice issues, racial justice, public health, and environmental health issues, which students are generally exposed to at more advanced ages. And also older youth have a greater opportunity to engage with the content meaningfully with their families and with their educators, and to potentially start student organizations or other initiatives in their community centered around plant-based eating. And they also have greater autonomy in terms of creating meals for themselves and exploring that process as well in a fun and interactive way. Our long-term goal, though, is to expand the resource and have curricula and stories that are more accessible for a younger audience. And so one idea that we do hope to explore further in the future is to create children's stories about children from diverse cultures engaging with plant-based dishes, how they're engaging with that with their families, and fostering a more compassionate food system. Claire, would you like to sort of talk about sort of why, how we think that it can benefit both a younger audience and older youth audience as well?
Do you want to go for it? Oh, go ahead. Oh, so yeah, so actually why that quote was included in our videos, because we totally agree with it and we think it's true. But it really does illustrate the intense need for young kids to learn about this issue, and displays that, if a 4-year-old can benefit from conversations around food, middle schoolers are definitely ready for this.
Excellent, great. Thank you, ladies, for that, for those fantastic answers. Let's move on to a new question, kind of in a similar vein, from Elaine. She says, fantastic work, everyone. I have a question for the Climate SLEUTHS. How did you come up with a specific demographic of 3rd to 5th graders?
We came up with that demographic after talking extensively with teachers and getting their advice on what age range seems most feasible for us to reach. We also agree that starting at a younger age is the best and most ideal. So by having our videos reach 3rd to 5th graders, that is an improvement. Additionally, we have spent a lot of time mapping out what topics students need to learn in order to understand climate change. And so what we were doing, what we found out was that the younger audiences have a lot of skills they need to develop that we would not be fit to cover in this sense, such as just developing a love for nature and learning more about the science behind just the earth in general, before they can completely understand the topics we are presenting to them.
I also think that one of the most important things to highlight about our series is that we're making climate change not only socially accepted, but socially encouraged. So starting at a young age, before students get to middle school and start forming friend groups and conforming to peer pressure, is really important to us. So making it accepted before they get there.
Excellent. All right, so I have another question for Educate Our Youth. Bija says, great idea. Do you guys plan to get parents involved to support the youth as well? And before you answer, I just wanted to say also, if anybody has questions about the Changemaker project, a few people submitted questions like that. I can answer those after this.
So I guess I can answer the question. So initially we were just targeting teens, but we kind of thought like there's a lot of adults out there who want to learn more about financial literacy, and also to be able to help their kids, they're gonna need to have a little bit of background knowledge too. So we made it inclusive so that parents can also be involved, and they can also sign up for a free account as well and be able to participate in the financial literacy course. So yeah.
Excellent. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for answering those questions. So I have one more question from Cleo for Planting Hopes. She says, why is she doing this alone? Her project is amazing, and it seems partners would not only help her, but serve purpose of training others to do the same in their communities. So, Nisha, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Like, I'm currently working alone, but I would love to expand my project. So I'm also working on it. So I will work with 10 different girls in my in different locations who can create a prototype of my project and initiative. And this way, my project will not be limited in a particular area.
Fantastic. Great. And even though you were working alone, you had a fantastic mentor, right? So your mentor helps you a lot. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So I had a couple questions come in about the Changemaker project, which I can answer now. So how are the teams formed? So the teams are really formed by the students. They get to decide. One thing I didn't mention is that the way the program works, let me go back to gallery view here. The way the program works, the students can do the program as part of a class. They can do it as part of a class with their teacher. We've had environmental science teachers, social science teachers, design teachers, history teachers, all kinds of teachers of different subjects areas, not yet math. We have yet to get a math teacher involved, but they can implement our curriculum directly into their curriculum and integrate it into it. So they can do it as part of a class, or they can do it as an after-school club, some kind of an initiative they do after school in their own spare time. So it's a very, it looks differently in each of those settings, but either way, the students get to choose the teams that they form together. And usually they do this around an issue area. So they choose, maybe 3 of them are passionate about homelessness, and so they want to get together and work on that issue. Maybe another 2 are passionate about climate change, so they work on that. And so students can kind of divide up their teams based on what they want to work on and who they want to work with. Another question, how are topics identified? So topics are usually identified. The students choose what topic they want to work on. It's all up to them. And so we've created a curriculum that's as broad as we can, as we can do in a short time frame of, introducing them to as many different social and climate justice issues that we can. And of course, it's not completely comprehensive. There are many issues in the world that we can't feature. And so students get to choose whether it's something from our curriculum or outside of our curriculum, the topics that they would like to work on. Yeah, and let's see, the social justice theme. So yeah, each year we have a new theme. So last year's theme was racial justice, wrapping up with today's Racial Justice Award. And then our next year's theme is diet change for climate change, and that will launch this summer with our mini grants initiative. And another thing I didn't mention, as part of the racial justice theme, we also did a racial justice youth panel back in February, where we brought together young leaders in the racial justice, Black Lives Matter movement, to come together and talk about their initiatives, people around the world who are doing amazing things. And we plan to do the same thing with next year's theme, to host a special panel for our change makers to learn from folks who are doing really good work. All right, and then any other questions for the Changemaker project? Looks like Wilhelm, your question came through only half. Do you want to finish your question for warm post? Let's see. We'll wait for Wilhelm's question to come in, and we have just a few more minutes before our judges are slated to come back and tell us the winners. So very exciting. Let's see. Any other questions? Okay. The two founders of Educate Our Youth said they live in Pennsylvania and California. How did they find each other to work on this important issue? You want to talk about that? How you found each other?
So initially, we both joined the project separately, and Natalie had her own written proposal for her idea. She was planning to focus on like financial literacy in Philadelphia, since that's where she lives. And then I joined the project later. I didn't have a partner at the time. And so I got connected with Natalie and I heard her idea. And then we decided to expand on it, especially since I live across the country. So we decided to like expand on it in both of our areas. And that's kind of how our project started.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sanjana. All right. We got another question. Can you share the Changemaker project number of staff, years in existence, and annual budget? So the Changemaker project number of staff is 1. So I am the only full-time staff at the Changemaker project, but I have 6 incredible interns who have done an amazing job. I have a filmmaker who was just out yesterday filming a lot of our students doing interviews about their projects. I have a graphic designer, and I have someone who does social media, and they're all volunteers, amazing interns. Some of them have been part of our program as well, so they really know the program in and out. But at this time, I'm the only full-time staff. And we have been in existence for about 3.5 years. Yeah, so this was our 4th cohort. And yeah, our annual budget, you know, it has grown slowly from the beginning. For the first couple of years, it was pretty low. Now it's right around $30,000 a year. And so that's why we rely on the generous donations of all of you to do our monthly contributions. So actually, I will go ahead and put that link in the chat. I meant to do that earlier so that anybody who wants to contribute, this is our link to do so. So any other questions before we wrap up? So donate link. Here we go. Some more questions. Okay, answer that one. All right, for the PB&J project, I think it's really fantastic. How did you get in contact with schools? Really cool that you have those partnerships set up already. Thank you, Pilar.
Thanks for the question. So basically how we started is just by reaching out within our own bubbles. And in that process, then we've been able to get connected to other schools. But what's been really great is, for example, one of my past schools has a service learning program that they really believe the PB&J project would be a great fit for. So the process has basically just been using our own connections and through that expanding.
Yeah, exactly. Because the reality has been that this has just been a really tough year for teachers and educators with the transition to virtual learning. So we just started by reaching out to the communities that we already had connections with, but our plan is definitely to expand, and we have a neat little teacher flyer that we'll utilize when talking to teachers about PB&J.
I think it's also wonderful. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Maya.
Yeah, I'm not sure if people are familiar, but so Claire and Ella are in the Bay Area and I'm in the Chicagoland area. So the schools that we reach are also widespread in terms of the location, the diversity of location, and the availability of sort of finding resources from the different local areas and reaching out to schools there.
Excellent. All right, one question for Warm Post. Thank you, Willem. Will it be possible for people outside the organizations you're collaborating with to support you with the kits for the victims?
I mean, we will really appreciate that, and we will think on the ways how to make it accessible for people from outside, because.
Yeah, and along those lines, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, because the boxes are gonna be put in social places, or like places where people can access and put the clothes. So I guess for now it's more accessible here in Norway, but we can think of an opportunity to make it accessible for other people outside.
But also, as we aim to support A21 Ukraine, you can also directly donate to A21 Ukraine or A21 General Office, and this will also be a very valuable contribution.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. All right, so last question, because the judges are going to come back any minute now. We have a question from Brent. We would love to hear from these young changemakers. What gives you the most hope? We could all use hope from youth in 2021. So I want to invite students who haven't had a chance to speak yet during this live Q&A session. Any teams that haven't had a chance, they haven't had any questions directly asked to them, why don't you guys go first? Tell us what brings you hope. And while you do that, I'm just going to check in with the judges.
Personally, I think that projects like this bring me hope. I loved seeing everyone's projects like develop and through all the meetings we had, and just seeing what people across the world are interested in and feel passionate about to make a change.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. When I look at the map on the Changemaker website, seeing all those little pinpoints all over the globe really fills me with hope.
May I go next, please? Well, I started this project because of personal connections to the issue in question. I have hope that our project will succeed in making a change because I like seeing the bright side of our world, and what I mean is the one that accepts one another regardless of their differences. So with that mentality, that's why I have a positive attitude through everything related to this project.
Building off of what everyone else has said, being part of this project has been really inspiring. My teammates specifically are two incredibly driven and just incredible people, and it's so amazing to be able to work with people like that towards on such an amazing project that we know will have an impact. And also today, seeing the larger groups projects has been so inspiring because so many different social justice issues are being addressed by people from all over. And it's very motivating to see that and to know that that sort of activism is happening.
Thank you, Maya. Who else wants to share? I just heard from the judges. They're just a minute away from coming back and announcing some winners.
I also feel like this right here is what brings people hope for me personally. Being able to interact with people, obviously not in person, which sucks, but being able to interact with people, see their personal ideas, that's what gives me hope because it's been a tough year. And being able to talk to other people is really nice.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jasmine.
I just want to say that this, like people have been saying, like this project is really inspiring. It's given me especially an opportunity to be able to voice, to have like voice and vocalize what I think or what my group members think and what we all think. Like I feel like everybody here is passionate and like it's just a really beautiful thing to see, honestly, and knowing that, and like we all know that the circumstances and the conflict that we face in the world, like there's a lot of issues, and to see that people are trying to make a change and people are like taking action, and it's especially because it's like a lot of youth too. Like I think that's really a great thing to see, and I really just want to say like this was a great opportunity, and like just see all these new people and all these different kinds of people, like, and to see your guys' ideas, like it's really a beautiful thing. And I think everybody, and I like honestly I wish y'all the best of luck in everything that y'all do, because it's so, I just love it. Like it's so great, so exciting. So yeah.
Aw. Thank you so much, Tyla. Wonderful. Thank you for everybody who shared today what brings you hope. And Brent wants to add that that he says, oops, where did it go? He says, I should have added that you give us hope, change makers. So thank you all for bringing hope to everybody here today. Does anybody else want to share before the judges get back? Take a look if they're back.
Yeah, I would like to share.
Oh yes, go for it. One more share. Yeah.
Like when people smile and their happiness when I share with my initiative, it really gives me hope. Like
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nisha. All right, so now the moment we've been waiting for. Let's hear from our judges. The judges are going to take some time to share which projects they're funding and why. So take it away, judges.
All right, let me start off by saying, wow, you guys are unbelievable. We are amazed by every single one of you. We are inspired by every one of you. You should be so proud to be here. And you should be so proud for the work that you're doing in the world. We are so grateful. And with that, I'm just gonna list the project and then I'll turn it over to the judge who's going to be funding. So the first project is the Berkeley High School.
Yes, and I will be funding that one. I was really impressed by the clear problem and the clear solution that you folks presented. And I look forward to seeing the impact that you have in your school.
Wonderful. Thank you to Joke. BHSAR, do you want to say anything? Let's unmute and give them a hand. Let's everybody just unmute. Congratulations. Yay. All right, and keep yourselves unmuted because we can keep clapping. BHSAR, do you want to say anything?
Just thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We care a lot about the problem that we presented and the solution that we have. So we're really going to do a lot with the funding that you have. So thank you so much.
Yay.
Yeah, just thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much to Joke. All right, next.
Okay, great. The next project is Healthy Minds, Healthy Lives, and Kurt is going to be funding that.
Yeah, I really liked what I saw. I think this is a very tough thing you guys are trying to do, and I commend you for even trying to wade into these waters. So that's why I'm interested in funding it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kurt. Ladies, unmute yourselves. We want to hear some of these screams of excitement.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Oh my God, this is so grateful for this. Thank you so much. Like we really appreciate this. Oh my God.
I'm literally shaking. I'm so happy. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Kurt.
Congratulations. All right, the next project is the Climate SLEUTHS, and Chichoke, take it away.
Yeah, I was really impressed with this one. I had to duke it out with some of the other judges to win it. It's really popular. But the animations that you guys are putting together, the potential impact, the educational impact that can have with kids, I'm really excited about it. So.
Yay, let's give them a hand.
He didn't explicitly say it, but he is funding you guys.
Yes.
Thank you so much. This is absolutely incredible. I'm so happy.
Thank you so much. It's definitely going to make an impact. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yay, congratulations, Climate SLEUTHS. Let's give them a hand. All right, who's next?
All right, the next project is GSJA, and we're not going to be funding this project, but Kate's going to be talking to you guys a little bit about why and some thoughts to help you get funded next time.
Yeah, we definitely encourage you to come back again because we think this is an important project, but we didn't really get clarity about the impact you were trying to have. And in particular, we also didn't understand how you were going to be connecting with the local community. I know you said you're trying to reach LGBT youth in the community, but you are part of a very small international school in Japan, and so we couldn't envision what it was that you really were going to do and how you were going to have that impact. And so we would encourage you to get more specific about providing a picture of who it is that you're going to reach and what community organizations perhaps you're going to be in touch with in order to do that, rather than just going on social media. Anyway, we encourage you to come back again.
Thank you, Kate, and thank you, judges. I just want to say for everybody in the audience today, This happened last year where one of the projects didn't get full funding, and somebody in the audience actually stepped up and wanted to fund them. So if there's anyone in the audience that would like to fund this project, all the students are encouraged to submit, to create GoFundMe pages so that they can get funding outside of our judges' donations. And so this is an opportunity, you know, if you see a project you want to contribute to, you can let us know. So anyway, congratulations. I'm sorry that you didn't get funding GSGAA, but thank you for the kind words, Kate, of the feedback that they can use to improve. And we'll see if we can get you the rest of your funding through our community.
Don't stop what you're doing. All right, so the next project is Planting Hopes, and it is my pleasure to fund this. So yay! We are, I am absolutely in love with the work that you're doing, and that it's one person making such an impact with something that's so incredibly important. I am so grateful for your efforts and the work that you're doing in the world. And so I'm pleased to be funding this with the Pollination Project.
Yay, thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you, Pollination Project.
This was one we had to fight over as well, Nisha, and we hope that you're very successful and can draw other people in your community into it as well.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Wonderful. Who's next?
All right, the next project is the PB&J project, and I am going to be funding this with the Pollination Project. This is something that's near and dear to the work that we do in the world, and I absolutely know that there are not many websites like this that exist, and it's there's a vacuum for it, and it's a need, and I'm really excited to see what you all do with it. And we hope that we can contribute in other ways besides financially if you ever need it. So we're a resource to you as well.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Yay, congratulations, ladies.
Congratulations, guys. All right, the next project is Vaccines for Teens, and I'm turning that over to Doug, who is going to be funding it.
Yes, I'm really excited about your guys' project. Just giving my hand. Yeah, it's such a timely issue, obviously, in particular with vaccines being allowed for teens or approved for teen down to age 12, I guess, right now. And you know, I think it's interesting that oftentimes teenagers are more able to receive science than parents, which have kind of been caught up in misinformation. So I think there's just a lot of potential impact for this project. I was really impressed with the presentation.
I agree. Thank you so much for your support.
Awesome. Thank you, Doug. Let's give her a hand again. Hey, who's next?
Congratulations. The next project is Warm Post, and I'm going to hand that off to Kurt, who will be funding it. Congratulations.
Oh, yay!
I absolutely love what you guys are trying to do. As soon as I finished watching the pitch, I pretty much made a decision that this was one. Thank you. Yeah, I actually, my cousin produced a movie about human trafficking and things like that a while ago, and I've been obsessed with the topic ever since. So if you guys can even help 5 people, it would be amazing. So I'm super excited about this.
Thank you so much.
Yay. Give them a hand again. Thank you so much, Kurt. Awesome. All right, who's next?
Next is Educate Our Youth, and I'm going to hand that over to Kate and Daniel, who will be funding.
All right. Educate Our Youth.
Daniel, you want to comment for us?
Sure. I think that this project really spoke to us because it is our line of work, and we're working on a very similar project internally with a local high school to create modules to talk to teens about education, financial education, and just financial awareness and literacy generally. So we think that between Kate and I and our 8-person advisor team now, that we have a lot of resources and connections that we could be valuable even outside of funding to this project.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. We really appreciate it.
We look forward to talking with you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kate and Daniel. Let's give them a hand. All right. Who's next?
And last but not least is KITABI, and I'm going to turn it back over to Kate and Daniel, who will be funding that.
Yay!
Again, this is, it's I suppose it's in the literacy theme as well, but we really like this project, and there's a number of things that seem odd to us because it's such a different environment than we're in, but you really seem to have thought through a lot of the issues, and we're intrigued to see how it proceeds and what kind of impact you're able to have. Daniel, you want to add anything?
I'll just add that we understood the problem, and we understood that your approach was very different than either of us would have ever thought of. And your understanding of the culture and the networks there already, it seems it's a very easy stream of logic to follow. And we think that it has the opportunity to have a lot of impact across a lot of people. So we definitely are happy to be a partner in this.
Thank you so much, Kate and Daniel, for trusting in us and believing in our vision. We really appreciate it and looking forward to work with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is amazing.
Yay! Awesome. So exciting. How are you guys all feeling? All right. So I just want to say I heard from my sister that she and her husband are going to pledge $100 towards the GSJA to help them get the funding they need. So if anybody else is interested in that, it looks like another dear friend of mine just wrote in. She says, I'd like to fund GSJA. Thank you, Jenna McDavid. You're amazing. So together, you guys made it happen. This is the beauty of this community. I am just so honored and so grateful. Thank you, Jenna. Do you want to say anything, Lucas?
I want to thank you for your support, and I'm grateful to be funded by you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And I just want to tell you all something that is very pertinent to what just happened. Next year, we're changing our model a little bit. And next year, we are actually going to be doing Global Pitch in a different way, where we are going to be crowdsourcing some of the donations. So it's going to happen earlier in the year so that students have more time to actually implement their project before the end of the year with the funding they get. And we're going to be inviting all of our audience members to contribute to the projects in a more effective, streamlined way. So that's a big announcement for next year. You can all look forward to that. Joining our Global Pitch event next year is going to look a little different. It's going to be a lot more interactive for the audience. So thank you so much, Mary, Brent, and Jenna for funding that project. You guys are amazing. I'm just really grateful. Thank you. And we have one more award that the judges are going to announce next.
This was really, really tight. We had a really difficult decision. We almost had to coin flip it because it was that difficult. And, but ultimately we made our decision. And so congratulations for that. Are we calling it Racial Justice Award? Is that the correct name? Is going to go to Berkeley High School. So congratulations.
All right, yes.
We're really proud of you. And,
congratulations.
And well done.
Awesome. All right, ladies, what do you say?
Thanks so much.
Go for it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Yay, congratulations. And so they'll receive an additional 150 in funding for their great work. Awesome job, everybody. All right, let's hear now. We are having our final announcement, which is the People's Choice Award. So let's see. I am gonna look at our poll here. Let's unmute and do a little drum roll.
Virtual drum roll.
Everybody unmute. Give me a drum roll. Okay, the People's Choice Award What's that?
Good.
Goes to
I have a drum.
Planting Hopes, Nisha. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Everybody chose your project as the winner. So you get an extra $150 in funding. Congratulations, Nisha.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you everyone for voting in the People's Choice Award. I'm really grateful. And so that's all for our winners. I want to thank all of you for joining today, for being part of the Global Pitch, for coming back year after year, for those of you who are returning, both judges and students. I want to say a huge thank you to our judges. You guys have been phenomenal. I can't believe your generosity and the inspiration and hope that you've given to our students with your feedback and your affirmations. This is going to take them a long way. I think if I were in high school getting funded like this by a real judge with real money, giving me money of theirs, it would just be, to me, I hope it's just a springboard for continued activism and just really feeling believed in. So you've done that for our students, and I'm just so grateful. We're all so grateful to you. Let's all unmute and give a big hand to our judges. Thank you, judges. Amazing. All right. Next, I want to thank our sponsors once again, the Pollination Project, North Berkeley Wealth Management, and the First Republic Bank. Thank you all so much for supporting our work, for supporting this event, and just allowing us to do the work that we do. So let's give a hand to our sponsors. Thank you, sponsors. All right. Next, I want to thank all of our donors. We have a lot of donors on this call today, folks who generously give give financial contributions to us each month. I'm going to just put the donation link today once again. If you felt moved by something you saw today and you want to contribute to our work and allow us to be able to do it better and reach more students and promote change in more places, here's our link to donate. I also want to just, while I'm at it with my links here, I'm just going to post once again the survey. If you want to get involved with the Changemaker Project in some way, I'd love for you to just fill out this quick survey. It's, I think, 3 questions. Just let us know how you want to get involved, and we'd love to have your support. So I want to thank our donors once again for making this program possible. It really wouldn't exist without you. Many of whom are on this call right here in front of me, all of our judges. Many of them are donors, and I just really, really grateful to all of you. So let's give a hand to our donors. Thank you, guys. All right. Next, oh, sorry, somebody say something? No, okay. I want to thank next our teachers who are really working behind the scenes to make this program possible. We couldn't do it without you, teachers. We have teachers from all over the world who are bringing this program to their students, making it happen. A lot of them are writing grants so that they can get their students involved in this initiative. They're really pushing it forward, and they're teaching their students about social justice through the Changemaker Project. So we're really grateful to you, teachers, for being so supportive of our work and of our students. Let's give a hand to our teachers. Zaya gave a shout out to Mr. Alvinson. Yes, thank you, Mr. Alvinson. All right, next I want to thank our volunteers and all the interns who make this program possible. Like I said before, we have an amazing team of interns who have done such incredible work to help this project move forward and help us get us where we are today. So thank you, volunteers. Let's give a hand to our volunteers and our interns. All right. Next, I want to thank our mentors, many of whom are on the call today. You have helped our change makers move forward on their projects, giving them feedback and advice and helpful resources and connections. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for your service, mentors. Let's give them a hand. Please unmute yourselves. It's only me clapping. Come on, students. All right, let's, the next thing I want to, yeah, give it a hand for our mentors. Thank you. All right, next up, I want to thank our parents, because I know that parents live through school. And, oh, now I'm hearing an echo. Sorry, maybe you should mute for a moment. I want to thank parents that you guys play a huge role in helping students to go through this program, helping listen to their practice pitches, give them advice and support, and give them connections. So thank you so much, parents, for all that you've done to support your students in this initiative. Thank you. Let's unmute and give a hand to our speakers. Our parents. It's been a long day. Okay. Thank you so much, parents. And finally, I want to give a hand to our students who have come here today. They have spent so much time working on these projects, preparing their presentations, practicing their Q&A. They have just done so much work to lead up to this moment. And I hope that you guys are all so proud of yourselves, because I am just incredibly proud of you. It is just the greatest joy to be able to work with you each and every day and get to support you on these initiatives. I am so grateful to all of you. And as Brent said, you give us hope. So thank you so much, students. Let's everybody unmute and give our students a hand for their great work today. Right, and all our projects got funded once again. Congratulations, guys. You're amazing.
Can I jump in here really quickly? And
Hi,
one more thank you to Annalise for making this program happen and building it.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're a visionary.
Aw. Well, I couldn't do it without all of you. So I'm really grateful to be able to do this work. I always tell my friends I have the best job in the world. I get to work with young people who want to change the world, get to help them do it. There's nothing better. So thank you so much, Kurt, for those kind words. And panelists, you're welcome to stay on the call. We're going to end the webinar, but I really appreciate all of you for coming. Thank you so much. And don't forget to fill out the poll if you didn't get to yet. And we'll see you next time. We'll see you next year. All right. Bye, everybody.